Straight ahead on 12 News, remembering 9/11.
Service comes with a price, a heavy price.
From a Plymouth fire station to a Crystal senior home. Plus, a Salmonella outbreak, this one involving Chipotle restaurants, including 2 in the Northwest Metro. But first, a long-awaited celebration following years of planning in Maple Grove. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. A long-awaited park is now officially open in Maple Grove.
Central Park will become a backyard destination for residents in the heart of the city, and it offers something for everyone. Even though Thursday was technically light jacket weather, kids could not resist testing out new interactive fountains. Cultivating 45-plus acres of old gravel mining land into the new Central Park of Maple Grove has been decades in the making.
You know, I was here about a week ago, and people were out here already, you know, as a family playing with their dog, and they lived right across the street, and that's exactly what it was planned for and what it was designed for, and people are really going to enjoy this park.
The park will serve people in a growing part of Maple Grove. There are more than 400 apartments within walking distance of this park, and more coming.
This is the densest part of Maple Grove when it's all completed. And I think it's in the area of 4,000 people will live in this envelope here.
They call it urban park, but it's going to provide fun things for not only the Maple Grove residents, but people outside of Maple Grove.
Once here, park goers can pick their pleasure, starting with the perfect space for cartwheels.
The crown jewel is the big lawn space. It's an open lawn like Central Park in New York City, and it'll be very, very multi-purpose.
The fountains have LED lighting in the evening. There's a trail loop around the pond that's nearly a mile long. Then on the backside of the park, pickleball and basketball courts that will be open by day and lit by night.
This is really, really neat, and it's offering a lot for a lot of different people.
Gardens and a labyrinth are also planned, and families are looking forward to something else.
Probably the playground. Like I said, we're at the playgrounds 2-3 times a week at least.
Finally, a new building for weddings and parties, but will act like a warming house in the winter for the refrigerated ice skating loop.
As far as the pavilion itself, the park shelter, it's an amazing place.
But perhaps one of the best things about this $16 million park is that it's already been paid for through city savings and a special park fee.
Oh, it's beautiful, it's paid for, and it's hopefully our citizens are going to love on a year-round basis.
The playground is supposed to be open in the next month. The refrigerated ice skating trail is expected to open in November.
The state health department is investigating a salmonella outbreak linked to 17 Chipotle restaurants in Minnesota, including 2 in the Northwest Metro. A Chipotle restaurant in Crystal and one in Maple Grove are involved. Across the state, 45 people were infected with salmonella bacteria. As investigators work to identify the source of the outbreak, Chipotle has changed the supplier of suspected produce that's under investigation. Investigators believe it is now safe to eat in those restaurants. The federal government this week also finalized new rules aimed at putting more emphasis on preventing foodborne illnesses rather than waiting to respond to an outbreak. They also would hold imported food to the same standards as food produced in this country.
How does a food company look at its internal system? Where does it get its food from? What are some of the risks in their own processes, and how do they control and mitigate those risks so that if something did happen, that we address it and we catch it before that food ever hits the consumer marketplace.
In Minnesota, the state also plans to increase the number of food inspectors by about 50%.
If you've tried to make a late-night run to the Brooklyn Center Walmart over the past few weeks, chances are you've been surprised to see it's no longer open 24 hours.
We're constantly reviewing the business to determine operations decisions for our stores. So, based on some recent review of customer shopping patterns, we made the decision to adjust hours.
The store made the change on August 16th and is now open daily from 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. Walmart officials say the move helps store employees to clean and stock the shelves during off hours, and it allows the store to reallocate resources to peak shopping hours. A company spokesperson said the change was a business decision and had nothing to do with crime. Brooklyn Center police say statistics back up that claim.
Really, it doesn't affect us at all. I mean, they've had very few problems there, especially in the later hours, I mean, in comparison to other stores. I did a quick analysis, and approximately 9% of their calls for service occur between the 5-hour block from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Walmart officials say the store could possibly go back to 24/7 operating hours in the future, but that's dependent on whether that makes sense for business.
Some bad news for drivers trying to head west on I-94. Westbound 94 is down to a single lane at Highway 241 in St. Michael. MnDOT says the closure is necessary so crews can repair a segment of roadway within the construction zone there. So drivers who travel between Maple Grove and Rogers should expect some major backups. 14 years after the attacks of 9/11, it's a day of reflection and remembrance.
At the Heathers Manor in Crystal, a 21-gun salute recognized the 3,000 who were killed that day. The Heathers has many veterans from wars prior to 9/11. They remember those who fought in the battles that followed the terror attacks.
In Plymouth, the tolling of a fire bell is a sign of honor for firefighters who have died in service. Fire departments, police officers, and paramedics came to remember the sacrifices made by the more than 400 first responders who were killed in the 9/11 attacks. But there's concern that after 14 years, the feeling of unity after the attacks is slipping away.
We have poor memories. And that united feeling or that united sense that we had post 9/11, in my opinion, has eroded. And there is distrust and mistrust. There is tension and strife within our communities. And we need to find a way outside of a tragedy to bring people back together.
I think as a society we take our first responders for granted, and we shouldn't do that. You know, our people in uniform are here to serve, but that comes with a price.
Chief Klein there says first responders sometimes pay a price with their lives, with everyday service to the community as well. Well, coming up, we continue our day of remembrance with a paintbrush and a little elbow grease.
Volunteers give a Crystal veteran a big helping hand. And then later in sports, the Park Center boys soccer team shoots for a win over a rival. We'll have the highlights.
But first, a chilly start to Saturday, but plenty of sunshine, and Sunday warms up.
Today is a national day of service and remembrance. Volunteers around the world and in the Northwest Metro are honoring the victims of the 9/11 attacks by engaging in community work.
And 12 News reporter Sonia Goen shows us how one group is lending a helping hand to a veteran who lives in Crystal.
This house needed a lot of cosmetic stuff. Structurally, it's in great shape.
This Crystal home is getting some much-needed TLC.
We all work hard and we play hard, so.
Work that volunteers are happy to do to help Jason Jones and his 7-year-old son.
He's a retired veteran from the U.S. Army and a single father.
There are many things on the to-do list. It will take workers about 2 days to get it all done.
A lot of the siding, particularly on the garage and on the gables of the house, were rotted. They hadn't been painted in a long time.
Volunteers are painting frames, making repairs to siding and other areas on the house.
He wasn't able to keep up with the work because of lower income coming out of the Army. Felt kind of helpless about not being able to do it for himself.
Crews are also sprucing up the garage, including adding a new garage door.
He might not have the most time on his hands right now, so being able to help him out is feels really good.
Well, just knowing that we've got this family and make it a little bit easier for them to take care of some things that are a little bit more important than just the maintenance around the house.
The homeowner also has a brother living with him who is also a veteran.
The fact that we're doing this for brothers who have both served our country on 9/11, doing that today feels awesome.
Jason Jones couldn't be here while the work is being done because he just started college. But he wanted volunteers to know what a difference they are making.
So thank you, and I'm grateful that you took time out of your busy lives to come and donate your time and effort, to help me out.
In Crystal, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Those volunteers came from the Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity's A Brush with Kindness program and API, a Twin Cities-based international construction company. So thanks for your work.
Definitely.
Well, coming up, a powerful story with an Irish twist.
We'll visit Osseo's Yellow Tree Theater for the kickoff of a new season. But first, in sports, the state's top-ranked prep volleyball team takes down a conference neighbor. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, starting with volleyball tonight, and Rebels are off to a good start.
Champlin Park, state tournament team a year ago. They're going to be tough to beat this season, I think. Champlin Park is the #1 ranked volleyball team in the state in Class 3A and is playing in the big Southwest Minnesota Challenge in Marshall this weekend. The Rebels played their home opener Thursday night. Champlin Park facing Park Center. First set, the Rebels get out to a big lead early. Sydney Hilly sets to Janae Alderson for the kill and a 16-6 lead. A little later, it's Alderson starting with the pass up to Hilly, who then sets up Alderson for another kill in the middle. Champlin Park wins the first set 25-7. Not much different in the second set either. Hilly to Hannah Krimble. Back to Hilly for the big hammer, and Champlin Park rolls to a 25-4 win to go up 2-0. Hilly gets another set assist here. Allie Miller dumping it over for a point for the Rebels. Champlin Park wins in 3. We'll have a feature on Sydney Hilly starting Monday on our Sports Jam show here on Channel 12. There are some big football matchups coming up tonight on another Prep Football Friday. In a battle for the Bay Bell, you can join Joe Moline, Allie Arlton, me for the call on the Wayzata Minnetonka game. That game kicks off tonight at 7 here on Channel 12 and 12.tv. A couple of other games to note involving local teams. Maple Grove plays at Eden Prairie against the 4-time defending state champion Eagles. And Osseo plays at Centennial Grace in what always seems to be a great game. You can see highlights of all those games and more beginning Monday on Sports Jam. Champlin Park and Park Center figure to be two of the top boys soccer teams in the Northwest Suburban Conference this fall. The Rebels came into their Thursday night match at PC with a 3-1 record. The Pirates 4-1 at game time on a beautiful night for soccer. First half, Fouad Tahir takes the corner kick for the Pirates. This one caroms around a bit in front, and then Alex Zanoski puts it away for the Pirates as they get the first goal of the match. After a Champlin Park red card, the Pirates convert on a penalty kick. Zolnowski with a fake. Gabriel Vasquez arcing the shot into the top right corner for a goal. Park Center celebrates just a little. It's 2-0 Pirates at halftime. Second half, a nice lead pass by Sam Mosnes to Zolnowski, and he gets some room to run and puts another one in. His second goal of the night makes it 3-0 Pirates. They win at 5-1, and they are now 5-1 on the season. In girls soccer, Maple Grove looked to bounce back from a 1-goal loss on Tuesday to Elk River. The Crimson were at home to take on the Centennial Cougars. Maple Grove trying to clear the ball here, but Centennial gets a shot away. Michaela Halford, though, makes the save for the Crimson. Scoring chance late in the half for Maple Grove. Darian Kolb, the man and McMahon on the pass, but her shot just wide of the net, and it's still 0-0 at halftime. Second half. Hannah Bombeck with a shot for Centennial. Halford's there again for the save on her way to posting her first career varsity shutout. And there's the only goal of the game. Meredith Hawkinson scoring on the penalty kick. Maple Grove wins 1-0. Their boys also won over Centennial 4-1. Wayzata and Breck are consistently good in girls tennis, and those two teams met up in a non-conference match on Thursday. #1 doubles, Allie Werner, Hallie Bowden in the near court for Wayzata, Grace Zumwinkel, Katie Schmoker for Breck. And Bowden getting the volley winner for the Trojans. Mustangs looking for the break at 5-4, and they get it with a smash winner by Schmoker to win the first set, but it's Werner and Bowden who rally to take the match. One single, Sam Stevenson for Wayzata, Kendall Kozakowski for Breck. Stevenson with the volley winner on the backhand. And Stevenson will come to the net again here, but Kozakowski, good shot to win the point. Stevenson goes on to win the match for Wayzata. At two singles, Breck's Anna Zumwinkel. Nice forehand to the open court for the winner. She wins it for the Mustangs. And at three singles play, Breck's Lauren Kozakowski and Ava Marco playing, and Marco with the lob shot for the point. Kozakowski taking the match in straight sets. It's a close one, and Wayzata wins this one 4-3. They sweep all three doubles and take the one match at first singles.
All right. Thanks,
That's
John. Still ahead, a look at weekend events.
One of them involves the start of a new theater season. We'll have a preview coming up next.
Are finding
for 2 fun-filled days in Osseo. The Lions Roar celebration starts tonight in downtown Osseo, and Saturday is shaping up to be the perfect day for a parade. Lions Roar Parade in Osseo set to roll at noon. You can look for Shannon sitting next to me here and Cassie Bonstrom somewhere on the streets of Osseo between noon and about 1:30 tomorrow.
That's right. I'll have on my walking shoes, be passing out goodies, so stop by, say hi.
Do that. Well, this year marks the 8th season at Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo.
They kick it off with the first of 4 shows beginning this weekend. Neil Persley has more in today's Weekend Showcase.
Sunday night. It was just this time of year. It was the beginning of August.
Dancing at Lunasa was written in 1990 by Brian Friel, set in August of 1936 in the fictional town of Ballybeg, Ireland. The play centers around 5 unmarried adult sisters living together and is narrated by an adult character named Michael, who is the son of the youngest sister, Christina. However, the play takes place in the past when Michael was a young boy.
Jerry Evans, Chrissy.
Michael Lee plays Michael's absentee father and Christina's love interest, Jerry Evans.
Jerry Evans showing up just sort of causes upheaval every time he comes back to town.
How have you been the past 6 months?
13 months.
13? Never!
That's an enjoyable thing to walk on stage with a little bit of a circus going on around you.
Oh, did you remember me? Rose has the sweetest face I've ever seen. There.
Rachel Weber sparkles as the second youngest sister, Rose.
Friel describes her as simple.
What Rose lacks in intellectual complexity, Weber makes up for by displaying a beautiful innocence and a character with refreshing, uncomplicated sincerity. Weber does a marvelous job through expression as well as action.
The show itself, I think, is written beautifully. It's a treat as an actor to read any script and realize that the words are going to come easily out of your mouth.
Not to be overlooked is Marconi, the radio, the quirky contraption that seems to have a mind of its own when it wants to work or not. But without it, there'd be no music. And with no music, there'd be no dancing.
And these are characters who, no matter what life is thrown at them, are finding the good in it.
For Weekend Showcase, I'm Neil Persley, 12 News.
Dancing in Lunasa runs through October 11th at the Yellow Tree Theater in Osseo. Mike, looks like a good time.
They're having a lot of fun, and you know the audience is so close right there. It's got to catch.
It could be right in there on the action.
Yeah,
it's a good deal. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and have a great weekend, everyone.